Lots of interruptions today, I'm sorry. Okay, part 3 of Howl's Moving Castle. I must go to her funeral if it kills me, Howl said sadly. Mrs. Pentstemon always thought far too well of me. I blinded her with my charm. Water ran out of his eyes. Sophie had no idea if he was really crying or if it was simply his cold. But she noticed he was slithering out again. I was talking about the way you kept dropping ladies as soon as you've made them love you, she said. Why do you do it? Howl pointed a shaky hand up towards the canopy of his bed. That's why I love spiders. If at first you don't succeed, try again. I keep trying, he added with great sadness. But I brought it on myself by making a bargain some years ago, and now I know I shall never be able to love anyone properly now. The water running out of Howl's eyes was definitely tears now. Sophie was concerned. Now, you mustn't cry. There was a pattering outside. Sophie looked around to see the dog man oozing himself past the door in a neat half circle. She reached out and caught a handful of his red coat, thinking he was coming to bite Howl. But all the dog did was to lean against her legs, so she had to stagger back to the peeling wall. What's this? Said Howl. My new dog, Sophie said, hanging on to its curly hair. Now she was against the wall, she could see out of the bedroom window. It ought to have looked out on the yard, but instead it showed a view of a neat square garden with a child's metal swing in the middle. The setting sun was firing raindrops hanging on the swing to blue and red. As Sophie stood and stared, Howl's niece, Mari, came running across the wet grass. Howl's sister, Megan, followed Mari. She was evidently shouting that Mari shouldn't sit on the wet swing, but no sound seemed to come through. Is that the place called Wales? Sophie asked. Howl laughed and pounded on the coverlet. Dust climbed like smoke. Bother that dog, he claimed. I had a bet with myself. I could keep you from snooping out of the window all the time you were in here. Did you now? Said Sophie, and she let go of the dog, hoping he would bite Howl hard. But the dog only went on leaning on her, shoving her towards the door now. So all that song and dance was just a game, was it? She said. I might have known. Howl lay back on his grey pillows, looking wronged and injured. I understand. Sometimes, he said reproachfully, you sound just like Megan. Sometimes, Sophie answered, shooing the dog out of the room in front of her. I understand how Megan got the way she is. And she shut the door on the spiders, the dust, and the garden with a loud bang. Got to the end of the chapter in the end. There you go.